Joker movie not based on comic books, Aquaman is body shamed, and Jaden Smith is a big fan of Pattinson. Today on DC Movie News.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
Wonder Twin powers activate.
Form of tissue paper.
No. If I form an ice thing and you form tissue paper, what's gonna happen? You think that's gonna make it strong?
Soggy tissue paper.
Yeah, and then what are you gonna do?
Form of cat piss.
Oh my God. Oof.
Just saying the first things that come to mind.
First of all,
what?
Cat piss is technically a liquid. That would still be under my...
Form of frozen cat piss.
Okay.
This is ice. This is solid.
We're going to walk out
smelly,
on that. Are we live already?
Smelly ice.
Is this show live? Is it too late to go back?
No,
it's too late to go back. Hello, welcome to DC Movie News, everyone. I'm Adam Gertler, and I'm joined by the soon-to-be birthday girl, the crown jewel of the DC movie universe, Miss Roxy Striar.
Tomorrow. My birthday's tomorrow.
How old are you going to be?
28.
28?
Is that a big year?
Yeah, because you survived past 27. You survived the year that killed,
Yeah, that's true.
Brian Jones and Janice and Jim Morrison.
I still have a day.
Robert Johnson and
Cobain.
And Cobain and
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse.
I know.
All the 27 Club.
Also,
I mean, I said Janice.
No, it's a guy. James Dean.
Oh, James Dean.
I'm pretty sure he's a 27 Club.
So
too.
you're clear.
That's the best I could give you for James Dean. That's what I did.
That was the worst.
That was the worst James Dean. And also for the audio listeners, they don't even know what I did.
Yeah, we are doing a video that you could watch on YouTube it's always there, but there is an audio element to this, and that's a terrible cue to make like a smoking symbol.
Let's see, James Dean death age. What a fun thing to Google. 24. Oh, he didn't even make it.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, hashtag 27 Club.
Wow, that
Roxy
attracted
is through.
to a 24-year-old?
So,
not right.
It's just us today.
Don't say it like that. It's us today, not just us today.
Well, what I'm doing with that is I'm setting a lower expectation, but I'm secretly suspecting that the show is going to literally blow people's socks off.
Actually, their socks will be across the room.
For safety, you might want to take your socks off right now. Take them off at the top of the show.
Do you and I have a ship name?
You get the good ship Lollipop.
I'm pretty sure that's
if you know what I'm talking about, and I think you do. We're here to talk about DC movie stuff. The next movie, of course, coming out is starting to be fast approaching as we approach the end of the summer. I'm going to say once we hit August, this movie's officially around the corner, and that, of course, is the Todd Philips Joker movie that is going to land in October. And a couple of pieces of news came out about that. One was that, and this is sort of the director, Todd Philips, getting ahead of it, the idea that their story is an original story and it's not taken from any comics. So my question to you, Roxy, is how is fandom going to react to that? Is this a good idea to get ahead of it? Is this going to piss people off? Or is it there's so many ways to tell the Joker story that his is just as valid as any other?
Multiple responses to that. First being, your hair looks amazing today. Did you get it cut?
No, I didn't get it cut, but I literally ordered a new product that I just put it in to try it out.
It looks really good.
I'm going to New Orleans.
I know that was off topic, but I didn't want to not address it.
Also, for the audio, you can't tell my hair is good enough. I'm bald.
But we are talking about a very big story, and I did just derail us, so I'll bring us back on track. When it comes, and I was complimenting you.
We'll edit it.
Oh, when it comes to the Joker movie, I think that it's the smartest thing that they could possibly do to get ahead of it, because they know that there is going to be that backlash when people realize this is not the Joker that they this is not the Joker origin story that they know or that they've read or that they've heard. So I think they had to get ahead of it. I wish they didn't have to do that, Adam, because I would have preferred to be surprised. I think we know what they're referring to. I've talked about it on the show before, but people don't want those spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we know what they're referring to when they say that this is not from the comics. I think we know the relationships they're referring to. And I do think it's smart for them to kind of get ahead of that early. What's that face?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. On one hand, because I'm not really attached to an origin of the Joker, I'm like, I don't care about that part of it. If you were to ask me if they changed Batman's origin, that's spicy territory.
Right.
I think people would have a problem with that. But I wasn't thinking about it until you phrased it that way. And if this really is just a way to say, because they can't talk about the thing that you're talking about right now. If that's the thing that he's getting ahead of, and that's the thing that he's referring to, yeah, I don't know. In isolated, I don't like it. Can we talk about it? Because it's very hard to be...
Yeah, so spoilers. And not even spoilers, like, we know these are spoilers, but potential spoilers based on the rumor mill.
Right.
So if you don't want to
Not
hear...
for sure.
If you do not want to hear Joker rumors...
Regarding the plot of Joker.
Then don't listen for the next minute and a half.
Okay, so we're in the zone now.
We're in the
spoiler zone.
Get in the zone.
So the rumors are that the Joker has a familial connection to Bruce Wayne. Either he's his brother or another illegitimate son.
So apparently Thomas Wayne. The number one rumor is that he is Thomas Wayne's son and therefore the half-brother of Bruce Wayne, the illegitimate half-brother of Bruce Wayne. The other rumor that has gone around as well is that he is actually the brother of Thomas Wayne. So that would make him Bruce's uncle.
Here's my call.
Yes.
So I think young Thomas Wayne impregnates this girl that he's maybe in love with at the time, and maybe his parents, and I don't know that far back in the Wayne lineage. I don't know Thomas's dad, but they're so ashamed that he would be with this woman beneath their status that they pay her off. She keeps the baby, and that's it. And maybe she, ends up destitute or whatever, ends up raising Arthur Fleck. And then he, this is when he realizes his whole life's a joke, and that's one of the things that adds to his madness. What do you think?
Possibly. Absolutely possibly. Or he impregnates a crazy person by having sex with her one time.
Okay.
And then leaves, and then the Joker's mom is also a little bat crap.
Right. Well, I mean, either
Bat
way...
crap doesn't have the same ring to it.
Like bat crazy? Instead of bat ass crazy?
Mm-hmm. Bat crap crazy.
No,
it's not the same.
Not exactly the same.
No.
But the point comes across.
Yeah. I mean, I think that more realistically it would be what you said, which I think is an interesting story, and I'm okay if that's the story that they want to tell. And I think 100% that's what Todd Phillips is saying here. We're not pulling from the comics, we're making up our own history.
So the reason I guess I would have an issue is because how does that affect the guy who will be Batman? But what I need to let go, and this kind of goes into our next story, the idea of what this movie is supposed to represent. Like, the reason I would have a problem with that familial connection is because it's something I'm not... It's not like the canon that I know, and it makes me wonder about that Batman. But that Batman doesn't exist. This movie exists as a complete Elseworld story.
Yeah.
So, and that's the whole point. And so basically, Todd Phillips pitched this movie when he was working on, I think it was War Dogs, and he basically...
I also really liked that movie.
Yeah. So he had the idea that what DC should do is get great filmmakers, tell their own stories, don't try to do what Marvel does. Duh. That seems to be what's kind of starting to happen right now. We are having a lot of the big, fun, blockbustery films, but this is the first in what could be a line of very adult, very different, very auteur-directed, to the point where, Todd Phillips comes up with his own vision of the story. Mm-hmm. Like true authorship with these properties, much like what Noah Hawley is doing to incredible effect on Legion on FX right now. It is,
So a couple of different things. I want to go to the chat for a second. By the way, in case you didn't know, you can join us live on Popcorn Talks YouTube every single Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's where we pull these from the chat. You guys are the best. This is coming from KC. KC says, and the Joker in Gotham was twin brothers. What's the problem? It's a multiverse. It is kind of the same thing. We've got a Joker, a live action Joker, and he is a twin brother in that. And that doesn't mean that that's pulling from the comics or that we have to go with a Jeremiah and a Jerome or whatever it is. There's just all different versions, so I like that. Equally as important, Star Drew says, Adam, do we have any sausages for Roxy's birthday? So I just wanted to throw that out there.
You know what I just made?
I just wanted to put that on the table.
Okay. I just made a fresh batch last night.
So it does seem equally relevant and as important as the Joker sausage. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Throwing it out there.
For sure. I did just make a fresh batch of shrimp and pork sausage that I'm taking to New Orleans. Yeah,
that's my favorite combination.
Supposed to go to New Orleans, but there could be a hurricane. I don't know. It's exciting. That's why I'm wearing my Jazz Fest.
The hurricane's exciting?
Well, Hurricane Barry or Tropical Storm Barry, we're going to see what it does in the next couple of days. Rolling Stones are supposed to play there. They moved the show to Monday. Tales of the Cocktail. A lot of sausage, a lot of drinks, a lot of Stones going on next week. But I will say this. I'm very into this movie still. And whether he's related to Bruce or not, I'm excited for this new direction. We have a picture of Robert De Niro as Murray Franklin. I wonder if that name is kind of a riff on Joe Franklin, the guy that did like the talk show for the longest time on like public access television. Ryan, if you could find Joe Franklin,
do a side by side.
Do a side by side or bring it up. So this is De Niro, and he's this talk show host guy, which is where a lot of people are drawing the meta connections between the Scorsese movie that I'm blanking on right now with the with Jerry Lewis and De Niro. No, not Comedian. No. The one that where Jerry Lewis plays like the Johnny Carson type.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh God, it's a great movie. I just watched it like very recently. Anyway, that's what there's a lot of comparisons because there's another psychopathic comedian King of comedy. Thank you very much.
Never saw it.
So good.
And his face in this is just such a De Niro face. Like you see me over here. I'm standing, being a tough.
So I have a feeling Joaquin's character maybe gets like rejected. Maybe he doesn't get to do comedy on his show or something like that. Like they're clearly gonna cross paths, or maybe he bombs.
Yeah.
And then he brings bombs.
Mm-hmm. Maybe from bombs to bombs.
I imagine this Joker's gonna be like he's just gonna be so amused with himself. Like he'd show up with actual bombs just because he thinks it's a funny joke. You know, the feeling I'm getting from this Joker is that he really
thinks he's funny.
He thinks he's funny. Like, that's a really interesting approach. Like, it's not like even the Heath Ledger one where he's like, I'm doing crimes because who cares? You know, and it's not like I'm doing evil. He's like, isn't this funny?
Yeah.
Like, that could be terrifying.
That's a little bit what they did on Gotham. Pulling a little bit from that. All his jokes.
You keep trying to bring it around.
I do. Stop trying to make Gotham happen, Roxy. It's like fetch. I know.
You know, I was warming up to this idea, and then you were like the cooler in there. You were like, yeah, it's like, and I just thought of like that Jerome-faced situation.
This is from Tim Cogan in the chat says, I bet De Niro is playing a blend of Letterman and Morton Downey Jr., kind of a shock jock for late night.
Yeah, I get that vibe, definitely. More so than the actual Joe Franklin. I just think the Franklin last name is kind of an homage to Joe Franklin, who had a talk show on public access for no joke, like 60 years or something like that. We're also starting to hear, you know, we got a little Flash rumors last week, right?
Yeah.
Andy Muschietti, it seems like that's taking shape. It looks like another long in gestation project is starting to get some new luster. New smells, I
don't know where you're going with this.
I'm trying to slide into saying like something about the green, but not referring to the Swamp Thing. I'm talking about those lanterns, y'all.
It was so unclear.
Yeah.
Until you said green.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you know how sometimes you could see like a Segway coming from a mile away and you're like, I'm going to cruise right into this? And you know how sometimes you could see somebody walking toward you from down the block and you know you're going to walk into each other even though you keep trying to.
Yeah, you go right, they go left,
you're locked in.
You go right.
I was locked in with my failure. So two things we heard. One, this is kind of like a rumor that we've heard before that it will be a Jon Stewart-centric film. We heard a while ago that the reason Tom Cruise passed on taking the role of Hal Jordan was because he probably died in the film. And we're hearing that.
Oh, yeah, that was a while ago.
It was a while ago.
I remember that.
But then there's also, rumors. Imagine if it was somebody's computer. I know, it'd be terrible. So...
That was too funny.
It's an auditory-made medium. So the rumor is that Tom Cruise still maybe being talked to, but that we're definitely going in a Jon Stewart direction and possibly Blackest Night. Now, am I wrong? I'm not super up. This is the Jeff Johns story. Chat roll, confirm. Is Blackest Night the one where Hal Jordan goes bad and becomes Parallax? Is that when that happens?
They will let us know.
Refresh me on that. So either way,
all of the Ricky Whittle fan art still popping up in this too.
that looks so good.
Yeah.
Honestly, so we used to have since we started the show. I feel like it was who wanted
Johnny?
No, who wanted to be Green Lantern for the longest time and had the campaign?
Oh, Tyrese.
Tyrese for the longest time. There was a lot of fan
Wanted to be
art.
Jon Stewart.
But the Ricky Whittle stuff is honestly the best. I'm a little up in the air on how I feel about him as an actor, though.
I like him a lot, and I think that this casting is actually pretty realistic.
It is realistic.
Yeah, I think he could get this job.
He's kind of like smoking hot.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I mean, whatever. There's a lot. There's makeup.
Very attractive.
Roxy.
I know him. He's also really sweet.
You do know him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Really,
He's cool.
really hot.
So you're a fan of this. So what do you
Yeah.
guys think in the chat room? I'm curious. Do you think Blackest Night is an interesting story to tell? Like, how dark do you think they'll go? I'd like to think that moving forward, it's not about light and dark with DC. Like, I really want to believe it's just about
Storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah. This tonal thing, especially when it comes to earlier you mentioned Flash, I almost want like the words light, dark, gritty, campy, all of to be taken out of their vocabulary for a while. And instead of figuring that out, like figure out what's right for each story and then tell that story. And then the audience can decide what is the tone. As opposed to like, let's go for something campy.
I'm reading articles where they're like, well, Shazam was really uppity, not uppity. It was like really light and camp, and Aquaman was very light too. So that's the way they're going. I just think that's sort of a coincidence, and I don't even think the tone of those two movies is really the same. I really think that they can tell dark, mature films and still have them be tentpoles if they're done well. And I think what's going to prove that is going to be this Birds of Prey. I don't think is going to be light. I don't think Joker is going to be really light. I think these next couple of films are going to be super dark.
Birds of Prey does have room for some levity, especially because we're pulling a character from Suicide Squad, and that tone was a little...
Yeah, and we're hearing kind of rumors that she might be breaking the fourth wall in Birds of Prey.
Right.
It was something that we talked about for a long time because... what we had heard about this script and this pitch was that it was very different. It was very out there. It was very over the top. And what we do know is that it's going to be coming out in February, and Ewan McGregor is going to be playing the Black Mask.
Yes.
Yes.
And we know more about it too.
So there are some. I guess it came out the other day. I don't know.
Yesterday, I believe.
Yesterday, so that the Black Mask is actually going to be a homosexual character.
Yeah, he's going to be gay in Birds of Prey. Which I guess would just make him gay in all of the films.
I thought you were going to say he's gay for Prey, and that is not.
But gay in Birds of Prey rhymes too well for me not to just keep saying it.
Yeah.
And the internet obviously has feelings on this because the internet has feelings on anything like this or just anything in general. For me, I don't know. I know Black Mask decently well, but I don't know what. I don't know why somebody would be up in arms about this. It seems like a perfectly fine decision to me. But here's some things that people are saying on Twitter, because let's go to the social medias. This is coming from... So Grace Randolph first tweeted saying, I'm hearing that Black Mask is indeed not just gay, but flamboyantly gay in the upcoming Birds of Prey movie. And some of the stuff I'm hearing is too crazy to report. You never believe me unless I had actual evidence to point to. Grace Randolph, who reports a lot of different things.
Wow.
If you don't follow her, she hits on a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But then there was a response from a fan who said, this is from @BatFamilyTalk, 100% support a gay Black Mask, 100% do not support him being offensive flamboyant stereotype. And then Ben Cruz, 180732020, responded saying, #Black Mask, being gay is a great step forward in the LGBTQ plus representation in comic book films. I'm so excited for Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. This will be a fabulous big hit for Margot Robbie. At Barbie_Megatron. I like the fact that he's a flamboyant gay man. Totally okay with that. But please change that dick pic storyline to something else. What
are they referring to?
Have it be valuable information that's in the diamond and not his private pictures.
So that seems to allude to some plot stuff that I was not aware of that I can just kind of ascertain kind of based on what they're saying. Mm-hmm. Which does sound kind of like a wild, over-the-top, Deadpool-y kind of plot if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you going there in your head?
That's exactly what I was going to. And @NerdGeekFacts says that his sexuality hasn't been explicitly mentioned in the comics, so if the director wants to make this take, I'm totally okay with that. So this website, this is coming from We Got This Covered, that put together all these tweets, is showing a lot of the positive reaction. I online saw, of course, some negative reaction as well, but I'm on these guys' page that as long as it's not intrinsic to the character, as long as it wasn't very important that the character was straight, who cares if he's now gay?
Well, not my Black Mask is all I'll say. The Black Mask, if he's not...
Why do you keep... What is there... Why? Why are you saying that?
If he's not chasing down Poon, then he's not my Black Mask. I don't know what motivates him,
Can I tell you what's going on my computer right now?
What?
And for no reason. It's frozen, and there's a picture of Darth Vader that has popped up. It had nothing to do with anything else. I was not on a website with Darth Vader. Darth Vader just took over my computer.
Is there like a Darth Vader? You got a Darth Vader virus?
I just got a Darth Vader virus to my computer.
Wow.
Just to be clear.
Oh, God.
Which is
I hope
why
this
I have
does
my
not
phone.
lead to your demise
But
at
I know
late
you're making
27.
a joke, but seriously, how do you feel about this, Adam?
Well, I think this is okay. There's two things. One, it's obviously it's a positive thing. It's a safe thing because this is not a character that anybody knows or has any connection to. So sure, of course, people are gonna say that this is a film that's possibly virtue signaling, which is something that I don't understand why it's a bad thing, but people say it as a bad thing, right? Like if you're virtue signaling, meaning like you're trying to be too woke, too intentionally, so that like you have this all-female cast with this LGBTQ plus character, that it's too woke for its own good. And there will always be the backlash about that. I think you have to be really careful judging the part where they say he's very flamboyant, because that's the kind of thing where like, yes, if done improperly, that could be offensive and wrong. But having not seen it or know nothing about it, like, don't get offended about it yet until you know what you're talking about. Like, I just want to warn people, because that's what they will react to. Like, oh, he's flamboyant, that is wrong. I don't want that kind of depiction of homosexuality. It's like, but you haven't seen it yet. And you got to trust that, like, Margot Robbie is a producer in this film. This is written by a woman, directed by a woman, I think, as well, right?
Kathy Yan.
Yes, and Christina Dodson. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would imagine any sort of flamboyancy is going to be handled deftly.
I also think that a lot of the comments that I saw were saying, why would you pick the villain to make a queer character? But I think that as long as it's handled correctly, there's all different kinds of villains. There's villains who are straight, gay, black, white, tall, short, men, women, and we haven't seen a lot of gay villains. And this is interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it's handled, because I agree with you. I had said the movie is going to be darker, and it is, because we found out it is going to be a rated R film, but it is going to have humor too. So it's going to be a dark humor. It's not going to be like a Shazam humor. What do you think about how the DC film universe looks after the next two releases, right? Like, what a different direction for the next two films that are coming out.
Bizarre. I mean, we're going in a different direction here, and then also, we'll talk about TV and TV time with HBO Max and everything going on there, but it's just like DC and Warner Brothers seem to be really shaking things up. We've got quite a bit ahead of us, and I'm still unclear on a lot of things.
In a way, and I'm still a huge fan of the Marvel stuff, but in a way, Marvel's really, they've created their thing. They've created their box, where they're not going to break out of it. There's only one style of story that is the Marvel way. And this is where DC can do all the different things. And like, we saw in 1 year where you have Teen Titans for literally every generation, from like, barely past toddler with Teen Titans Go to Teen Titans to Young Justice to Titans on show.
I miss you saying it the way you used to say
Teen
it.
Titans!
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Teen Titans
you.
Go versus Teen Titans is coming out.
Appreciate it.
So interested what people think of that. Aquaman.
Oh God, this story was just such a bummer.
This is a great story. So
You think it's a great story?
I do think it's a great story, because Jason Momoa, had a pretty all right figure in that Aquaman movie. I don't know if you saw it. It was probably a lot of makeup and stuff, but he looked okay. So the dude's on vacation right now, celebrating his Aquaman success, celebrating just the awesome life that he has, right? Like, he's, who's he married to? He's married to that really awesome former Cosby kid, from the Cosby Show.
I thought it was Zoe. Was he not with
No.
Who is he married to?
Oh, Ryan, give me Jason Momoa's wife.
From the Cosby Show?
Yes.
That's who he's married to?
Yes.
I don't know. This isn't working, so hopefully Ryan will
Lisa
tell us.
Bonet.
Wow, I did not know that.
He's married to Lisa Bonet. Like, kind of like,
I did not realize that was Jason Momoa's wife.
Like his senior by at least 10 years, but still smoking hot. So all I'm saying is, so he gets body shamed for what? Looking a little doughier than like...
And he like really didn't look doughy. He still looked pretty ripped.
I'll take my shirt off right now. If I looked as bad as Jason Momoa, I would pay $1 million to look as bad as Jason Momoa.
Because he looks so good. Yeah.
Yes! I would kill for that dad bod.
Remember, we announced that the next Aquaman movie was in 4 years after the first one. Like, let him chill.
Oh, yeah.
It just,
of course.
The amount of, honestly, this was body shaming. People were body shaming him.
Do you have any quotes or anything, or is there any like actual...
Most of the quotes are people pissed at the body shaming. Like,
exactly.
From Underoos Spider, y'all who said Jason Momoa has a dad bod. I think you meant daddy. I call him daddy anyway. You and me both.
That's funny.
So I saw way more people standing up for that.
Right.
And yeah, this is kind of like what you said. This is from Tessa. If Jason Momoa is fat, I must be a whale.
Well, I guess this story really is one of those examples of like, it wasn't that he was body shamed so much. It was like anyone that did was enough to create a backlash.
People were saying
story.
dad bod. That was the word. Dad bod.
Dad bod, which is a softer look. I mean, dad bod just means that you got stuff to do other than be in the gym all the time and eating nothing but carrots. Like at a certain point, if you look that...
Zoe Kravitz is Lisa Bonet's daughter. But not with Jason Momoa?
Yes, there you go.
That's where my connection was. Okay.
God, that's a mother-daughter combo. That could so happen. What? Was this mic live? Damn it.
Wow. Move forward.
Storm Reid apparently cast as Idris Elba's daughter in Suicide Squad. This is the girl that was in Ava DuVernay's last film. That big...
Wrinkle in Time.
Wrinkle in Time. Did you see it?
I did not. I heard not so favorable things, and I did not go.
Chat roll. What do you think of Wrinkle in Time?
I think that Storm Reid though is freaking adorable, and I also know her from something else. I'll look it up right now. She's been doing.
So what do we think's going on here? Because there's
with casting.
Yeah, because there's rumors that Idris is Bronze Tiger, but nothing's confirmed. And I dare you to tell me anything has been confirmed. So we don't know. We're pretty sure that he's not going to be Deadshot again. But the reason it's odd is because
Storm Reid has been in Euphoria as Gia, the younger sister. She's been so good.
Oh my, she's awesome on that
she's
show.
Really good.
The show is really good.
Oh, you've been watching, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the top of the DVR.
She was also in When They See Us, also an Ava DuVernay project.
Oh,
the Central Park 5 show.
Yes, I saw it. I saw the first 2 episodes of it. Okay, so the reason why this is a little interesting is because wasn't it a big part of like Will Smith's character that it was all about his daughter as well? And then we heard Idris Elba was going to be playing Deadshot, but now he's maybe not playing Deadshot, but it's also his daughter is a big character.
So are you trying to figure out what the story is
I'm just trying to think, is that like a familiar beat that we're going over? Is that a little too same, or I don't know. Am I looking too into that?
No, I think it's okay as long as it's good. And that seems to be the general thread for all these things. Like if it works, and we're going to like it. And if it doesn't, then we're not. Because now with so many superhero movies coming out, it's hard to be as original. You're seeing the same beats. I mean, I don't want to give spoilers on which ones, but 2 superhero movies, 2 this year opened with massive car accidents. Like the same beat by beat situation. Do you even know the 2 that I'm talking about?
What's that?
You do? Yeah, like it was like the same scene, you know? And now everybody is essentially a frickin' Skrull. Like we've got a million doppelgangers out there. So I think if things, there's a lack of originality sometimes, but if the story is good, the story is good.
Yeah, so I know I host DC Movie News with you, but it's always impossible to keep the order of films in my head. So after The Joker, we have Birds of Prey. Is Suicide Squad 2 after that, or is there something before that? Is there another major release before that? I'm not counting like The Kitchen.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, Wonder Woman, okay. Wow.
Wonder Woman would be before Suicide Squad 2.
Okay. So that's what's amazing is Wonder Woman was shot before the other 2 films that are coming out before it.
Yeah.
But what a crazy 1, 2, 3 punch. They could be 3 totally kind of different films. finishing with like a really great superhero blockbuster. What a incredible lineup we have right now.
I'm just starting to think too. Do you think that a second Shazam would not be until after Aquaman?
Not necessarily. I feel like they could do a Shazam in less time than an Aquaman. It's a lower budget. It's a new line thing, so it's not dependent on the same production pipeline, maybe. But so that is what a crazy awesome lineup. It's
so Joker, October 4th of 2019, is our next one. Then
amazing.
Then we've got Birds of Prey, February 7th, 2020.
Crazy. Have no idea what this is going to be.
Wonder Woman, 1984.
Expect
June
that it should
5th,
be good.
2020.
Wow.
DC Super Pets now was moved
Not
into
counting
2021,
that.
May
Not counting
21st.
that.
Okay. The Batman, June 25th, 2021.
Before.
Which would be before Suicide Squad, August 6th, 2021.
Oh my goodness, that's so crazy. But Suicide
Aquaman
Squad,
2, December 16th, 2022.
I'm still. I don't know if that's gonna still break down like that.
I don't
because
know.
they're not-
I don't know if that sticks. I'm just saying
because they're not really rolling cameras on Batman until early 2020. So I just don't imagine that it's going to be ready before Suicide Squad, because Suicide Squad is about to go into production in like September, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if those swap. We'll see.
we shall see.
Curious of what you think out there. Not that curious, actually.
Oh, we're curious. Stop it, you.
Suicide Squad. Speaking of which, they have Henry Bram, their cinematographer, ready to go. And that's just another indication that they are super in front of cameras and about to roll. What do you think of that? Suicide Squad.
So Henry
cinematographer.
Bram did Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, also known for doing Maleficent. So I think...
Which look gorgeous.
I think that...
I love the look of Maleficent.
Is Maleficent Mistress of All Evil
Sequel.
the sequel? Okay,
Yeah.
so that one then. So
Oh, he did
I
the
don't know
new
if
one.
he did the original.
Okay.
So and then now Suicide Squad. So we'll see. I really liked Guardians Volume 2. I think it's got some fun, like we were talking about with Suicide Squad, the fun levity of it. So we know that he can keep things bright, and we'll see how
I'd
it goes.
imagine if you're on the short list and you're working with in the genre so
Then you're-
consistently
yeah,
that
exactly.
you've got a wild eye. Clearly, he's got a production pass with James Gunn, so
Agreed.
Sure, it's a good thing.
Why not?
As we mentioned at the top of the show, noted famous Batman super fan. We should get him on the show. Actually,
I would love
I would
that.
love to get him on the show, especially because of this new vegan food truck he's doing right now, where he's giving out food to the homeless. Jaden Smith. Had some comment. He had some thoughts and opinions about the casting of Robert Pattinson.
This is what he had to say.
Well, now you remember that this is the guy that wore the white Batman suit to Kim Kardashian and Kanye's wedding.
And now he has pink hair. It's not relevant, but I just think it paints a picture.
Pink hair looks good.
I really like it.
I like this look.
This is what he said. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. Amazing things are happening every day that you don't even know. I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words and how excited I am. It has to happen. It has to happen. He will be the best Batman. I'm losing my...
You can't say effing?
I'm losing my effing S.
Yeah.
I'm losing my effing S.
Yeah, if you go, like, I
I'm losing
don't
my...
know. Okay, well, that's a different
losing
way.
my
That's like, this, okay, I think you, yeah.
Yeah. I'm swallowing.
That works.
Okay.
That works.
Thank you.
So Jaden is clearly, he's got a colorful past. That guy's been out there, out
And so he
about.
loves it, though, and I'm with him,
He does.
obviously. You guys know I'm a huge Battinson gal.
He's probably like pals with him. They probably know each other.
I just still don't know whether we're doing Battinson or Patman.
I think you know.
Battinson?
Yeah.
Because it took me so much quicker.
Yeah. Pac-Man is like way too Pac-Man. Nah. It doesn't ring Batman.
Can I
at
tell you
all.
the truth? Now I didn't. Now I totally know.
Now you know.
Now it's
No.
Battinson.
I was with you.
Yeah.
I was like, let's hear them both out loud, and I think we
know.
got there.
It's Battinson.
We'll finish up movie news with a couple of images from the Justice League movie, the movie that keeps on giving. I don't know any other film that was a quote unquote flop that has generated so much like news after its release. So here we have this really cool.
Let me ask you, who put out these images?
So the Cyborg graveyard scene, was that the cinematographer?
No.
What?
You ruined it.
Oh, was it Zack Snyder?
Yes, it was Zack Snyder.
Oh, okay, of course. Well, it's always Zack Snyder. It's always
Snyder
on Vero.
Yeah. Literally. But that was the joke. Who put it out?
Oh, yeah.
Snyder?
I think the next images were
Where
the
he put
cinematographer.
it? Vero?
Yeah, it's like a recurring theme.
Yeah. And it's true.
But this was kind of cool.
You left me hanging. Where's my sausage? You said you made it.
I do. I got it.
Yeah, but where is it?
I'll bring it to you.
Okay. Yeah, it is cool. I'm just kind of tired of this, Adam. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of looking at things that could have been. I'm tired of Snyder releasing images that I like a lot of the time. I'm just done.
What did they keep from his movie? This seemed like... I'm just amazed. Like, it's a totally different movie.
100%. 100%. What does it say? Vic pounds the earth at
It's
the
like,
family plot.
I can't know whether his would be better or not, but it makes me hate the one we got more with passing time.
That's
like,
what I'm
somehow
saying.
it makes me like the current one even less, which...
I want more Ray Fisher, and then you see this, and...
All right, so there's also some images of
Not gonna say
Cyborg
anything.
in his mocap suit, Batman and Wonder Woman also, as well,
Okay.
on the set. It's always nice to see another image of Affleck in that very Dark Knight Returns looking version.
I love Batfleck.
Yeah, I'm ready for Batman.
I am too.
All right, let's move on.
That's not what we decided.
I know. I was messing with you. All right,
job.
that's it. Now it's time to transition.
Was that a good note or bad one?
It's time for Roxy Striar's TV time. All the girls think Johnny's fine.
I miss Johnny.
Adam's cooking so divine. Also Mikey, Christmas time. DC movie news, it's time to talk TV time.
JLS Comics in the chat says he pounds the earth. That's random. No, like he's at the cemetery. Like, why earth?
Yeah.
Why? It's not like strange.
Well, you know what I like about that scene too? I know we're in TV time right now,
Yeah.
and I can't really talk about it. Is like everything in that movie, Cyborg is connected to everything, every mainframe, every traffic light, everything that has any kind of like live, So in this completely organic environment, he's got nothing. All he could do is pound the earth,
Pound that earth, baby. You got to do it sometime.
Okay, so the big news.
Take it to Pound
and
Town.
I'm really confused. We talked about this a little bit on the Swamp Thing after show on our sister network, AfterBuzz TV. Just talked about episode 7 of Swamp Thing. HBO is announcing HBO Max, which will incorporate many different shows and stuff. Roxy, do you have any insight as to whether regular HBO is going to keep going as it is? And we heard DC Universe is, for now, nothing's being done to it.
So far, what THR was reporting and other places are reporting that DC Universe, HBO Go, and CW Seed, which are all of their streaming platforms,
Right.
are not going to be changed by HBO Max. Now, we have to assume that will change over time, and also that there's at least going to be a bundle kind of situation, the same way Disney is doing. Disney's doing it with Disney Plus, ESPN, Hulu, all of their Disney properties are going to be able to be bundled, and that ultimately will probably include FX, FXX, all of the Fox Disney merger stuff.
Well, it's funny you should say that because, just today I heard that FX Plus is being discontinued by Disney.
So they're probably moving things over and switching things around. So you have to assume that there's going to be a bundle situation, although I'm not exactly sure because I think that the titling of HBO Max is not the smartest choice. I
mean, why?
I think they should have stuck with either Warner Media or something like Disney Plus, Warner Max, because HBO Max is not actually what this is.
Yeah, because
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it seems to imply. So what we were saying is, for the new Euphorias, Succession, Watchmen, although I heard Watchmen is going to be on HBO Max. Where is that going to live? Is that going to live on a big HBO, or does HBO Max include the first run new stuff like that?
The things that live on HBO Go as of now are things that are on HBO.
Right.
So having an HBO Max is strange because is this where ultimately when Warner Brothers decides to do a Harry Potter series, is it now going to live on HBO Max, but it's not on HBO? I just think that them choosing the titling with HBO as opposed to Warner is a silly situation. situation. They should have done what the studio, the overhang, the entirety of it, which is Warner, which encompasses both DC and Harry Potter and a bunch of other properties. So I don't know why they would do this when they have HBO Go, HBO Max, unless they're going to merge them together.
Yeah, I'm confused. And chat roll, let me know if you know anything different than I know. But I've read a couple of the articles, and this is where it seems to be unclear, is because they do refer to new series like Insecure, like continuing on HBO Max. So I wonder if like certain series are going to be new for HBO Max, but not new for regular HBO.
And is everything that's on HBO Max going to be on HBO the same way HBO Go is? Because then it's getting very cloudy.
Yeah,
and
I
is
have a lot of questions.
DC going to be swallowed by HBO Max? What they need to do is they need one overarching streaming service, and it should be called Warner something. Or Warner Brothers something to have that name recognition. Although, of course, HBO is doing really well, but it's a separate branch. And then they need to bundle. If you want Warner Media plus HBO, that's $15. If you also want to get the DC service, although I don't think they should have done the DC service, I think that should be part of Warner Media, then it's $20, like whatever. And I'm throwing these numbers out.
I agree with you. I think that the way to bring them all together is bundling, because DC Universe behaves differently because it has the comics and everything. Now, we saw the Doom Patrol logo on the HBO Max trailer. So two things. It makes me think, Doom Patrol is getting a second season. It will be announced at Comic-Con.
But it will not be on DC. It will be on HBO Max.
See, that's a crazy leap.
Yeah.
But if they say that DC Universe is unaffected, right now it's just a little weird because we don't really have anything greenlit past what we know is already in production for DC Universe. So when they announce Doom Patrol and they say Doom Patrol Season 2 is going to premiere on DC Universe, and then after it's run, it will be on HBO Max as well, that will sort of make a little bit of sense.
If that's what they say.
But right now we know Titans 2 is coming out, Stargirl's coming out, Harley Quinn animated series coming out. That's all we really know. That's all it's official. But Comic-Con is a couple of weeks away, and we know DC Universe is going to have a big presence at Comic-Con.
Right. I'm seeing a lot of different mixed reactions in the chat right now. The Blair Bitch Project, funny name by the way, says, if Warner bundles all their channels, I would pay $15. I'm not even at that point yet because you have to think about all the things that they could bundle, and I would have to know what everything they were willing to bundle was. But Ivan Soto says, this sucks. I don't think this sucks. It's not a huge issue. It's just unclear, and I wish that DC and Warner Brothers in general were clearer with their messaging sometimes, because it was very clear when Disney Plus launched, and I know that this isn't always about a comparison, but I'm just talking about another streaming service because it's more closer to this time than Netflix was. When Disney Plus launched and you found out that they were doing Mandalorian, Cassian Andor, 3 separate projects for Marvel with 3 huge people from their movies. You know, you're looking at that, and that's the content that they're making on Disney.
This is classic, like Disney Marvel versus like the DCU announcement years ago.
Right.
It's like Marvel's ducks in a row. They do this El Capitan Theater announcement of their slate. Warner Brothers has a whole slate. It's a sleety slate. That was like given in a investor's call, and it's leaked, but there's no sex appeal to it.
Nobody knows. They're like HBO Max, and everybody's like, cool. What is it?
So yeah, it's just there's so many questions.
What are you launching with? Where is your Harry Potter series? What is launch and say, here are the 3 original shows we're going to be doing on this. Pull from your franchises, or tell us, because all we know is they're going to be getting Friends.
Well, we also heard the Game of Thrones prequel series is rumored to be there. I just want to, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
It would just make more sense if this is HBO moving forward, though, right? Like HBO, there should be no separate HBO other than HBO Max. That's where it gets weird for me. Like all the new stuff has to be on HBO Max, right? That's where you're charging $17, I guess, bucks a month, which is that's about what HBO Now costs, though, too. HBO Now costs like $13, $14, $15.
The whole thing. It's messy, and they needed this to be super crystal clear, or they needed to hold off on the announcement. But I feel like their hands were tied because everything that's going on with DC Universe with the cancellation of Swamp Thing, not announcing a Doom Patrol season 2 yet. I feel like they were trying to say, don't worry, we have HBO Max coming, but they didn't explain anything.
Here's what I'd love to know. Where do you think the DC Universe subscription numbers have gone since Swamp Thing cancellation, HBO Max? Like, do you think they're...
I don't think they were very high to begin with, and I think that they're lower than they were.
Like, I'm a year subscription guy. Like, at this point, I don't know that I would jump in at this point.
Because why?
Well, that's what we're hoping Comic-Con will clear up. So
right.
I will not be here next week, but the next time I'm here, I can't wait to talk about everything that happened at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I can't. There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot, and I will be there on the ground, people.
I don't know whatever else you really wanted to get into. As I said before, Swamp Thing is so good. It's hard to come to terms with it because watching the show, at this point, I'm not sure if there are confusing plot things because I know how the show was truncated, or if it's supposed to be mysteries that I'm not supposed to know about.
Yeah.
So
I stopped after episode 4. I have not seen since.
Really?
I will watch it, but my need to watch it immediately was cut because I was like, okay.
There's some beautiful stuff. Episode 7 was really great, and they are borrowing from the original comics or the Alan Moore comics in the best way possible.
I just wanted to give one quick shout out when we're in TV time to Pennyworth because Pennyworth Epics on Twitter, the official account, is following 18 people, and DC Movie News is one of them.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Shout out to them.
Yeah,
appreciate that follow.
We had a little something about Emma Corrin, who's on Pennyworth. She's an actress, and apparently this 23-year-old actress is playing Diana on upcoming season 4 of The Crown, and she's like the lead female on Pennyworth. And her inspiration for the character was from Mia Farrow's performance in Rosemary's Baby.
Wow. Well, that's saying something.
I think she might be the villain of the series, though. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure.
I know we have to get out of here, though.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about in the world of TV Times?
I don't even think we've got time for it.
Okay, no time.
And nobody got time for that.
As we said before,
Boom.
Roxy, where can people find you?
Everywhere at Roxy Striar. And at Comic-Con, I'll be doing coverage for Skybound this year. So
cool.
If you want to check that out, that will be
Awesome.
on their Digital Branch Gamma Ray. And I'm going to be vlogging and whatnot. So that will be really cool. And I'm also doing the Screen Junkies panel with Hal Rudnick. We are hosting it. So that is on Friday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. We'll be doing a whole panel with a movie fight and all that stuff. So if you're at Comic-Con San Diego this year, make sure you check me out there.
And everybody, please make sure you wish Roxy Striar a very happy birthday tomorrow. She's made it to 28. Check out our good old friend Jonny.
Stop saying that. I haven't made it there yet.
At Jay Quasto, Mike Kalinowski at Mike Kalinowski. I'm Adam Gertler. You can find me at Adam Gertler. You can find me in New Orleans next week at Tales of the Cocktail after I rock out to the Rolling Stones on Monday, providing a hurricane doesn't wipe out the town. We'll see you next time on DC Movie News.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.